It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Like an addiction, you keep craving something which is harder.
An animal rights activist, an addiction specialist, the voice of a generation, and a fierce warrior in the classroom. These presidents of Off-Leash News changed our publication into the media powerhouse it is today. All of these leaders, in their own right, not only sought to make a newspaper, but change campus into a better place. Off-Leash started from humble beginnings as the UW's first canine empowerment group, founded by John Kelly, who vowed to release all pet dogs on campus into the wild. The following is the first publication ever made by Off-Leash News. While the publication started strong, in 1909 things took a turn for the worse after John Kelly was bit by a rabid terrier. Once John got rabies, the dog empowerment group didn't really know where to go. John insisted on writing every publication by himself, despite his rapidly deteriorating mental state. And I don't think I could call it bad, but I think some of our more astute readers would be able to pick up on some minor typos. The following is a letter from John Kelly to his wife, Sarah. My dearest Sarah, in these times of innumerable hardship and pain, your love is bound to me like great cables, pulling me from the pits of despair. My longing grows stronger with every sunrise. It is the kind of love that gives me occasional muscle spasms and convulsions. Sometimes it makes me foam from the mouth and vomit. Yours forever, John Kelly. John Kelly died 2 weeks later doing what he loved. Towards the end, John became known around campus as a liability. People didn't like that he was giving the dogs rabies while no one was watching. While some people like to say that that's wrong, I like to think that it's quite brave. You know, nobody was doing that back then. The 1920s saw a revival in Off-Leash's leadership with Lenny Kravitz, a fervent prohibitionist. Lenny used the publication to produce several anti-alcohol PSAs. The piano player was drunk. Everyone was drinking in the club at that time. It was the Prohibition era. In fact, most of Lenny's talking points were actually a means to steal alcohol from other students on campus. But Lenny and Off-Leash fell into deep waters after firing their piano player for being too unpredictable. Lenny insisted on playing the piano by himself afterwards, which he couldn't play the piano, but allegedly he said he had the spirit. And at the end of the day, all the training in the world can't replace that. He died peacefully after drinking an entire bottle of moonshine and swimming off into Lake Washington. Then, a piano fell on his head. There's a lot of rumors that the piano player killed Lenny himself. I don't like accusing members of Off-Leash of killing him or killing her. That being said, he did do it, and he was very public about it.
Serving the residents of each tower.
After failing to sell a single magazine about prohibition in the 1960s, Off-Leash resorted to a new, less conservative viewpoint: abstinence. Craig Waters, or as he liked to be called, Doggy Style, was now head of the publication. Infuriated by the debauchery of the Summer of Love, in 1967, him and other members formed Doggy Style and the Virgin Marys, performing their single Don't Have Sex, Just Do Drugs at a campus event advertised as Woodstock but with no titties. Shortly after the performance, Doggy Style would fire their piano player after finding out that while he was in middle school, he kissed a girl. Their relationship was forever tarnished. Doggy Style got involved with some bad business towards the end of his presidency. There was an idea floating around at the time that we could advertise the next magazine by printing tabs of acid on the inside, which we did do, but rest assured they were fake, and only several hundred people were mad at us. October 8th, 1967. Doggy Style was confronted by local college hippies in the piano storage room of the music building. He was beaten and left for dead. Then a wood chipper fell on his head. After the death of Doggy Style, the publication entered a sort of dark age. Hoping to stand out in the Western news scene, off-leash President Jessica Carter employed a strict anti-technology policy. We call it the Dark Ages because it was actually quite similar. We weren't allowed to wear normal clothes, only robes. Candles had to be used at all times. There was a lot of pillaging, which we're not proud of, but it was very lucrative. Jessica Carter served the longest term out of any off-leash president, spanning 53 years before dying during the first weeks of quarantine due to dysentery. We've always been behind the curve, but in a good way. You know, it wasn't about the journalism, it was about changing campus. It was never about the journalism. Which brings us to today, where Off-Leash is known worldwide. I think there's still a part of this publication that wants to liberate dogs, that hates alcohol, hates sex, and wants to pillage very, very badly. Certainly, Off-Leash changed a lot throughout the years, but today marks a special moment in the publication's history. Welcome to Off-Leash Live.